Smith County is home to a wide variety of crops. Today we're at Bussell Farms to talk about fruit and vegetable production in Smith County.
Hi, my name is Samantha Bussell at Bussell Farms. We grow here a fruit and vegetable operation. We do a black plastic and drip line irrigation system where we can grow the plants a little faster and when we have them earlier. Sometimes we sell from the farm and sometimes we go to the local farmers market in Smith County. This year we are growing squash, cucumbers, and tomatoes. Here, our top ones that we grow in our tomatoes are Better Boy and Jet Star because they grow the best in this climate area and with our soil. Here, we grow our plants from seed in our greenhouse we start them in a tray that is basically a seed tray, and we pick them up. After they get a little bigger, we put them in like a cup or a 4-pack to make them grow a little bigger. And then we put them down in our black plastic we have behind here, and we put up a cattle panel and T-post where we can have them going up instead of laying on the ground, where we can have them growing for where we can pick our fruits and vegetables. We have a drip line irrigation system right here behind us. It's underneath the plastic. And we use it because it is easier to water and easier for us to get the fertilizer and minerals that we need for our plants. This is actually a huge pipe that we have, and we hook it on to a piece that we can actually turn off, and then we can turn it on where the irrigation can only go to certain plants that we want it to go. But right now we have fertilizer going through the irrigation that is leading onto our tomatoes and squash right now. And so we have it going underneath the plastic because the plastic actually keeps the heat in for our plants to grow with the sun. So it makes it grow a little faster and a little better. In the first row of the garden we have cucumbers that are growing up on the cattle panels with their T-post, where we don't have to bend over and pick them up because it's a pain to do and it's a lot easier to find. We actually double row our squash, so there's actually 2 different sides of the irrigation, and so we put it on 2 different sides where it'll grow a lot. We can grow more product. And right here we have our different peppers, and then we have our cabbage. We do the same thing that we do with the squash. We put it on 2 different sides of the irrigation where we can have more, and it's actually where the cabbage and the peppers are so small, we can actually put more than we normally do. The reason we have cattle panels with our tomatoes and everything, it actually helps prevent disease because the airflow through the plants and everything. And right here are all of our tomato plants, and these are all Better Boys tomatoes, and some of them are Jet Stars, which are our top 2 because they grow the best. They are very hard. They don't get as much diseases. But right now we actually pruned these up today and yesterday. We pruned them and we now got them all tapered up on the cattle panels where they can grow a lot more. Right here is our high tunnel. It is actually brand new to the farm. It's actually a lot more different than a greenhouse because in a high tunnel you put the plants directly into the dirt instead of just waiting them and leaving them in a tray the whole time. But right actually in front of this high tunnel we have marigolds to keep, 1, the mosquitoes away, and 2, just to help it look better. But actually in the high tunnel we have is okra, cucumbers, squash, and some tomatoes that we're just trying out. But right here are some tomatoes that we're just trying out in here to see how they'll fully grow. We actually did a Florida weave on them where we can keep them tied up where they ain't laying down on the plastic that we have laying down. And then we have all of our okra because okra is really good to handle heat. And so we're really proud of our okra because we kind of never put okra in a high tunnel before. And this is actually our first time. And we actually have over 300 plants in here. Some of the problems with the high tunnel was we didn't really know how to put down the black plastic. So we had to actually pin down because there's 3 different pieces of plastic that we have right now. And we had to put irrigation under where we can water our plants. But with the plastic, we had to pin every piece down to make sure it did not fly because the first time we put up the sides, it flew when the wind blew in. So it was actually a little bit of a challenge. But actually with a high tunnel, we actually have 2 doors that we can actually drive a tractor through. So it's a lot easier that we don't have to actually come through and actually till it up by hand or use a smaller tiller, and we can actually just drive a tractor in here. Rolling up the sides actually helps with airflow a lot, and it keeps the temperature regulated basically the whole time. But it's actually pretty simple. There's actually a metal pipe that's going through there that actually holds the plastic up for us instead of us having to go through there and tie it up like some people have to do. The reason I like farming so much is I get to be out in the outside, and I love being outside because it's so much fun. But there's also a lot of pros and cons. Like, I get to see how our fruit and vegetables are grown and how everything is raised, and I get to try different things like a giant experiment. The biggest challenge is actually our climate, because this year we had a frost and everything, and we had to replace a bunch of our tomatoes and everything, even though we covered it up. But you never know what the weather or climate's going to do. I would say first start small with a few tomato plants, because tomatoes, when they're easy to grow, you don't have to do much to them, and I would talk to your local UT Extension agent.
Thank you, Samantha, for joining us today for Meet a Farmer Monday. Be sure and check out our other videos on our YouTube page at UT Extension, Smith County.